My name is Leanne Somers. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome you to Being You and to our Aquarian Attunement series. This is a really inspired program that wasn't inspired by me. It was literally inspired by the universe. At the beginning of every single year, I always tune into my team in spirit and my guides, and I ask for a lot of direction in creating programs throughout the year that are going to support the light workers of the world to align with as much energy as we can to support the mission of the light on the planet, and to be able to really provide content for everybody in such a way that you're tuned into what's going on from spirit to the physical, as opposed to feeling like you're working against it. And so this year, by far, was the brightest, most crystal clear intention I think I have ever received ever in the many years of my teachings. The agenda for Being You was literally laid out piece by piece by piece by piece by piece. And I'm sure Joelle, who's watched me over the years and helped me put everything together, was as surprised as I was about how in advance the message came in, because usually I get it in the now, which is annoying, but it is what it is. And sometimes that means it's 5 minutes late, and that's just what happens. So this year, 2021, was such an interesting energetic shift coming out of all the frequencies of 2020. And there was such a maneuver for the lightworker community from a real concentration of depletion and even boredom, I would say, slash exhaustion, slash lots of effortfulness in 2020, slash, like, I could put 16 other words in here, but 2020 was 2020. You guys know what you went through 2020. You know what the world went through in 2020. A lot of transmutation, a lot of challenges, a lot of facing the restructuring of power on our planet, the restructuring of our personal power, the bringing our energies into a balance, but feeling like we were fighting against a balance the whole time also. 2020 energetically was just very, very interesting. And so when I sat down to get information about what's the content for this year going to be, one of the crystal clear directives was that flat out, what happened in 2020 and the reasoning behind 2020 being so difficult on so many different levels, even if there were blessings, was because the universe was creating a massive shift to really spark what I call the Aquarian flame, what they call the Aquarian spark, the Aquarian spark, the Aquarian flame, the Aquarian energies here on a planetary level. And so a few years ago, astrologically, we moved into the Aquarian age, which is dominated by a very specific group of frequencies headed up by the Violet Ray team, which is one of 7 different rays in spirit. We've come out of a 2,000-year period that energetically was dominated by the golden ruby ray called the Piscean age. And we've been shifting into this Aquarian frequency for a number of years. We're talking a number of decades. And for those of us who've been working with our light for the last 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years for some of us, we've been participating in a massive planetary overhaul. We are part of the crew that have, whether you know it or not, whether you remember it or not, you are part of the lightworker crew that's been on the ground, like the Marines, going in ahead of the game, helping to transmute tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of energy to make room for this really big energetic shift, this wave of light that's been coming into the planet. And so at a soul level, each and every one of us has really been contributing to that for a number of years, and especially in the last 5 to 10 years. For those of us who've been spiritually awakened, you've probably noticed that the level of integration that you had with your own higher self felt like it went backwards just a little bit. Like you worked really hard for the years before that to come into harmony with your higher self, to integrate your light into your humanity. And for many of us who were sensitive to it, you were able to pick up on a point in time where it kind of felt like you just went back to being human. That's the best way I can really describe it. Like spirituality got put on a shelf. I noticed it across the board. Attendance at conferences dipped. People taking classes got burnt out. It was like, okay, let me just go back to managing my human world and delving into human beingness as opposed to light beingness. And kind of unbeknownst to us, we didn't really understand what was going on. Come to find out, towards the end of 2020, I started getting messages as to why. And it wasn't really the end of 2020. By then, it was like summer solstice kind of time in 2020, when I got the message that, you know, in the last 5 to 10 years, we have volunteered our higher self integration energies back to the universe, almost like we integrated and could, if we could give back as much as we could back to the universal cause, just to give that extra momentum to the team in spirit to be able to finish this transmutational process so we could get the spark lit. We contributed by disconnecting or going backwards in our integration process from our own higher selves. Hence, we looked like we were becoming more and more human again. So we got busy in our human worlds and created some balance and had some fun and did some stuff, and whatever you were up to for the last 5 years, give or take, all good, right? You were out there being human again, something you probably haven't done in quite a while, especially if your awakening happened a long time ago. And then somewhere in that summer solstice to winter solstice period of last year, 2020, we got reconnected at that deeper level once again with our higher self. Now, here's the cool difference. That higher self that you gave back to the universe, you didn't give 100% of it. You kept a good connection, but you went down to what I'll call minimal connection. So if you integrated 50%, you maybe gave back 30, maybe 40% to the cause, right? To the collective cause. And then in reintegrating that higher self, that download of that 40% that you gave back is now so much richer because it has been operating independent from you in those higher planes, working with these teams of incredible light, really helping to transmute this energy and building some spiritual muscles and gaining some spiritual content and some spiritual equity, I could say. And this year, 2021, is a year to start downloading that equity back in. So one of the complaints, let me put it this way, that I've been hearing from light workers for the last umpteen years, it feels like, is this consistent, gentle complaint that I'm doing all the right things and I'm not seeing the results. Where are the results? I'm doing the affirmations, I'm doing the meditations, I'm creating, I'm affirming, I'm I-aming, I'm whatever it is that I'm doing. Where's the tangible results? So here's what the universe said at the end of 2020 about this. So all of this manifesting work that we've been doing, all of this I-aming, all of this meditation, spiritual practice, cultivation of the good stuff has literally been hijacked from us and borrowed by this universal team with our higher self's permission, by the way. Not against our free will, that would never happen, but with that little secret part of you that unconsciously decided to contribute a little bit extra. So every prayer you've done for the last couple of years has been borrowed energetically to be used for something else. It's kind of like they borrowed from your bank accounts. And again, 2021 is a year for us to start reaping those rewards. The dividends and that loan is getting paid back plus interest. So this is going to be a really interesting year for downloading a lot of the blessings and having access to it in a tangible kind of a way. So in the planning for our programs for 2021, I was inspired and pretty much told to create an attunement series, a monthly series where we would tune into the Aquarian spark that, yes, by the way, finally got lit winter solstice of last year. Woohoo, we did it after like umpteen bazillion years of putting effort into this ridiculously enormous transmutational cause. The spark officially at the planetary level has been lit. Now the next mission is to get it from the planetary level into the human level, to tap it into the minds and the hearts and the bodies of the beings on the planet who are willing to really receive this flame. Now, many of you have been taking my classes throughout the year, and you've received your spark. And each time we get into these attunements, you get to bring in a little bit more of this energy. You get to crank it up a notch. You get to build your Aquarian muscle to hold these amazing frequencies. And tonight is no different. We are going to now receive 2 more big waves, 2 more huge pushes of energy that are layers, what I think of as layers, to building up to the final goal of this year, which is being called being victorious. So originally I called the series Being Victorious. I've switched the name up just a little bit to make it a little bit more understandable, and we're calling it the Aquarian Attunement series. But ultimately the goal throughout this year, and the reason that we are taking in all of these unique vibrations, 1 to 2 per month, is really because we are building layers of a cake, right? And the cherry on top is going to be that whole integrated feeling of being a victorious being by the end of 2021 and throughout 2021, because it's not just about the destination on the journey, it's about the steps we take along the way as well. So we are consistently going to be building the energetic momentum to grounding all of this Aquarian frequency in a personal way throughout this year. Okay, so we started off January with the energy of being, Joelle, what did we start with for this year? This year, there were so many, oh my God, and they were all V words. Exactly, we started with valor, right? We built up the strength that we needed inside of us. By the way, if you guys missed any of these, you are welcome to get the recordings. We still have them available to you, and you don't have to do them in sequence. They're all available anytime you want them. But yeah, in January, we kicked off the whole program with getting into our valor, taking our strength to the next level, even to the level that they would call noble strength, nobility, noble strength, valor. And that was a phenomenal program. It really infused us with the strength of the Aquarian age into ourselves. And that's the idea here. It's not that you're tapping into your own frequencies. We are borrowing, I should say, in training ourselves into the frequencies of this era. So these frequencies are available at a planetary level for anybody who wants to tap into them, which is really exciting. And as we tap into them, the frequency of our own being rises up to match. So it is more effortlessly created throughout us and permeating from us out into the world. So it's been really exciting. So we started off with valor. And then we moved into, what did we do in February, Joelle? Help me out with this. God, my head is so full of light right now. I can't even think straight. I'm all about vitality tonight.
Vision.
Vision. Okay, totally drawing a blank on what we did in February, because it seems like ages ago, honestly. So maybe I shouldn't do a list about this, and I don't mean to sound like a total flake, but I do remember in Vision that we opened up to the vision of what this 2,000 years of Aquarian beingness is going to look like. We asked to see the vision, not just of this year, but of the millennia ahead of us. And we started creating into that future space these beautiful blessings that are available. And then we moved into March. Joelle, help me out with this one. March was?
Vibration.
Oh, that was so much fun. We vibrated. So cool. Every part of us was infused with the vibration of this amazing Aquarian flame. And I don't know if you could feel it, but everything sensationally came alive in March for me. All of a sudden, my heart started vibrating super high and super fast. I could feel the creative power coming back online. I got amazing feedback from some of you guys about how, like, overnight you felt connected once again to unconditional love, to the vibration of the world, to the people that you care about. It was really like a spark for the heart to come back online and to align with the beautiful vibrations that are available in the Being Victorious agenda. I was so excited. You're absolutely right. And then finally, here we come into this beautiful month where we have 2 words, not just 1 word, but we're working on a double frequency this month, kind of complementary words, but ever so slightly different. We're receiving the vibes of vitality and vigorousness. So vitality, I would very simply describe as feeling alive in every possible way, bringing yourself into life, bringing in this nurtured, nourished aliveness in every single part of your being. So tonight, we're going to bring vitality into different parts of you. We're going to go in and out of meditation. We're going to infuse vitality into your 3 main sectors, so to speak, your mind, your physical body, and into your heart, your energy field, okay? Then we're going to also talk about vigorousness. Now, vigorousness has a little bit, for me, a little bit more of an intimidation factor. I'm like, ooh, vigorousness, that sounds like work to me. And being on the ray of grace, I'm not such a fan of work. I like effortless work. I don't mind doing alignment. I don't like making effort that's inspired. I love inspired effort, but to be told to be vigorous, I had a little bit of resistance to that one. I'll be very honest with you. And yet, what the beautiful team in spirit said is to be vigorous means, in the Aquarian way, don't be afraid of your speed. Don't be afraid of turning up the intensity of your aliveness. So not only to have the aliveness, but also to take that aliveness and put it into action. Not just cultivating the energy of vitality, but getting the vitality and then doing something with it. Okay. So one of the things that you're going to probably feel after getting these energetic attunements tonight is a need to do. Stagnation is not going to be your friend this month. Okay. So if you have ideas of things that you want to create, if you have ideas of places you want to go, things you want to do, activities, projects that you've been putting on hold and sticking on a shelf, this is the time to do it. So I want you to kind of be in that space tonight where you go back even 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. What are those dreams that the light worker inside of you connected to that got put on hold? Some of them are going to start coming back full circle in the years ahead. And I don't mean in the 10 years ahead. I mean like this year, next year, and the year afterwards, and the next 3 years. Some of those dreams that you had that did not come to fruition, that got put on hold, are literally just waiting for this moment to come to life. Okay? So do not be surprised if in the months ahead, all of those visions of who you could be, what you could do, what you wish to accomplish, what you want to create, the legacies you want to build, the foundations you want to direct, the whatever it is that you want to whatevers. Do not be surprised if some of those things come back, and that they come back with more equity. If they come back with more vitality and vigor, if they come back like a force from the universe that just grabs you and says, okay, now's the time. Okay. It might be intimidating when they arrive back in your thought patterns. It might be intimidating, and you'd be like, no, but that's a dream I had far back in the day when, you know, my thing is expired. We've passed that deadline. Like, I'm not there anymore. When you have that feeling, remember that in spirit, there is no time. This, if it is a project that was blessed by the universe, if it is in your soul contract and in your spiritual directive to bring this to the world, to be the guardian of some project, to be the caretaker of some momentum, you don't get to choose that. It's written. You wrote it. You co-wrote it with the universe. The fact that the universe, planetary wise, said not now, stick it on a shelf over there, does not mean it doesn't still need to come to the planet. Now, if you truly have something from your past that comes forward and you're like, man, I really don't want that one, right? Let's say that I'll use the example perhaps of having a child. Let's say that at one point, oh, I dreamt of having a child and now I'm past that deadline, right? Biologically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, like it's just not my repertoire in this now moment. Then that energy, for example, will need to be recycled. Okay, it will need to be released back into the universe so that it can continue to thrive and flourish in a different way. So it's okay to say no to some of those projects, but they can't just be held on hold indefinitely. So watch out for those things that are going to be coming back your way to be revisited. Some of them you're going to have such a deep longing for, as if you've missed this chunk of yourself for the last 10, 20 years. Like, oh my God, my long lost me. Come home. Yes, come home. Be here in my heart. Come back into my world. Yes, my inner teenager. Oh my God, I love you. I've missed you so much. Oh my gosh, my metabolism that I didn't have since I was 15. Yes, come back into my body. Be a part of me again. I'm just giving you some fun examples, guys, but there are going to be parts of you that feel ancient that are going to come back and resurface in not just this year, not just this month, but in the next couple of years, in the next up to 3 years, okay? So watch for that. And in tonight's program, let's open the channel to welcome those unfulfilled dreams to come back and to ground into you once again, to give you a second chance to say yes to them, to give you another opportunity to serve them and to deliver them into this world and to be those guardians and caretakers for those. And if by chance you've collected, let's call it bitterness, grumpiness, disappointment, anything that's like quote unquote negative about the fact that they dumped you the first time or left you on the wayside, or if your dreams feel like they've abandoned you and there's any kind of like energetic aftermath of that, let's intend that tonight we heal that, because honestly, they didn't. It might feel like that in every possible way. It might hurt somewhere in your soul that, oh my God, I had this dream, but the universe didn't show up for me and didn't make it happen. The love of my life has not arrived yet. The dream business that I wanted to have, where did it go? I showed up and the universe didn't. There's a lot of feelings like that. But again, guys, it's not that we've been abandoned by our dreams or by the universe. It's really been a matter of timing. And I cannot stress enough how much the universe is saying, guys, so sorry, we didn't mean to put you on hold for 15 years, but we didn't realize it was going to take this much energy and effort to clean up the karma that needed to be cleaned so the spark could be lit. We needed to borrow everything you could possibly give us, including the momentum for your dreams, so that we could accomplish this in a reasonable time frame at the turn of this monumental shift in consciousness. Thank you, thank you, thank you for giving us your energy. Guess what? We're done with that project now. We can turn back and feed your dreams. Okay? And that's only going to get better. It's only going to get more abundant, brighter, sweeter, gentler, more loving, more nurturing, more fulfilling, more blessing, more beloved, more everything good. All right. So if you've lost a little bit of hope, if you've let some piece of you die, let's revitalize that tonight. Let's reinvigorate the part of you that is your purpose, your meaning, your drive, your vitality, your expression, your beauty, your grace, your whatever that zing, magic, miraculous, phenomenal, perfect, beautiful you is. Let's bring it back online and welcome it back into your repertoire. Okay, that's the idea for tonight's program.